Hello, gamers. This is a very sad time in gaming news, and I would like to start out with the bad news first. First off, I'd like to talk about River, the dog that inspired Fallout 4's dog meat. Unfortunately, she passed away, and yeah, it's a very sad time. Whether or not you liked Fallout 4, I think it's very tragic that this happened. I know everything comes to an end eventually, but it is sad nevertheless to see that one of gaming's kind of big icons at the time has finally passed away. I'd like to send my condolences out. Now, I do want to move on to something more less sad, and so supposedly Sega is going to turn Sonic into a VTuber. So, I think this is a good move. Honestly, this promotes Sonic more, and it gets more people interested into the Sonic ecosystem. Now, whether or not people will stay, who knows? Now, I think this is obviously very interesting, and we'll see how Sega plays this out. But for now, it's whatever to me. It's just interesting. But I can't come here to tell you this type of stuff. Next on the Sonic news, he's getting a Minecraft DLC. Now, this is a move that Minecraft's been making with like Ben 10 and a few other established IPs. So, not wholly unexpected, but I didn't think that Sonic was going to get a Minecraft DLC out of all things. But I guess if they got Ben 10 with all the transformations and stuff like that, then I guess Sonic wasn't going to be too far behind. So, of course, it's very interesting to see if this will lead to other, like, big IPs like, I don't know, Banjo-Kazooie maybe coming into Minecraft. We'll see. And I think this is very interesting that Minecraft's adding more established game IPs and, like, TV show IPs into their ecosystem. Before I move on to some more happy news, I'd like to talk about the controversy around Activision. So, what am I talking about? Well, as stated in the Bloomberg article, in 2019, he made $30.1 million, right? That's a lot of money, but as a CEO, maybe he's got a lot of things to worry about, and so, I think it's a little ridiculous, but hey, that's just me. Now, in 2020, he got nearly $150 million due to stock awards, and that's literally four times more than, 400% more than what he originally got in 2019. And so, this is just a lot of money for him, and he's just basically showing that, yeah, he's making a shit ton of money, but he's not giving it back to his company. And so, with the recent layoffs in the past, it just shows that Bobby Kotick really doesn't care about anybody else except for himself. And so, yeah, even though his salary decreased by 15% to 1.5 million, that his salary doesn't matter. He could literally just spend his salary and still probably live off that just pretty well. And so, now it's really interesting. 54% said let's keep this plan, and the other 46% said they didn't want to keep it. But so, yeah, at this point, Activision's going to continue doing what they're doing. At least Bobby Kotick will, and I just think this is just terrible, honestly. Like, if the company was struggling and he wasn't taking in much money, I've got nothing to say. Literally, that's what Nintendo did during the Wii U years when, they weren't doing so well, and they're like, oh, we're not going to lay off people. We screwed up. The executives said we screwed up, and nobody should pay for that. And they took some money out of their paychecks to keep the lights on and to keep their employees there. But Bobby Kotick, on the other hand, is just letting people go, and he's just like, hey, I got 150 million from stock awards, but yeah, I don't care about other people. So yeah, I think this is shitty. I think Bobby Kotick should, not let go of people unless, he really has to. But knowing him and knowing that Visceral Games and the Toys for Bob group also were all just sent to the COD mines, and so knowing Bobby Kotick, as so long as COD still makes him money, he'll still make money from that, and he'll get money from stock awards, so unfortunate. Now, I know there was talks about Dead Space coming to the next EA Play and people really wanting it to come back due to EA saying, oh, it's going to be a, long-lost IP. And so, yeah, I do hope Dead Space gets another chance. I think it's a really interesting concept, and I think the games did okay, but, after 2 and 3, it was really much just an action platformer with blood and gore, and it wasn't really horror, as the original game was. But so, what I'm really hoping for, though, is not even a new Dead Space game. I want Dead Space Royale. because I'll stop playing Apex. Dead Space Royale is the way to go. And oh my gosh. So I'm joking, but I do hope Dead Space does get another chance, though. That I do want to happen. If we get another Battle Royale with Dead Space, Battlefield's Battle Royale kind of just died out. And I don't know how 2042 is going to do anything unique, at least in a world with, Apex Legends, COD Warzone, PUBG, Fortnite. Who knows? Maybe Battlefield can do something interesting, and if this somehow becomes a thing, Lord knows what's going to happen. I do hope it's at least interesting, but probably not. But I just hope a new Dead Space game comes out. On to the next thing. Xbox wants to bring back Killer Instinct when the time is right. Now, I think this is very intriguing, because Killer Instinct is still alive, technically, and it's still within the gaming space. It's just not as big as it was. And this is pretty much due to the fact that there haven't been updates since, I believe they said 2017? Yeah, since its third season finished in 2017. And so I think this is pretty interesting that Phil Spencer wants to bring back Killer Instinct, but they're saying they wanted to bring it back at the right time. Honestly, if they just expanded on Killer Instinct 2013, I think it'll just be fine. Now, of course, who knows? Maybe they have a new story they want to go about, and they want to do it on a new engine, new effects, and stuff like that. So I can understand that, but there is no right time, or at least when the time is right. Now you could just bring it back, especially since you're not competing necessarily with Arc Systems, Guilty Gear, Strive. You can just bring the game back. If you start development at least beforehand or now, you're not gonna have to worry about Arc Systems making a new fighting game. But I mean, I trust Xbox to do what they want to do, and they'll bring back Killer Instinct when the time is right, whenever that is. Next up, I want to talk about Legacy of Kain Soul Reaver. As you can see on screen, supposedly a remaster is in the works, and it'll be announced later this year according to new reports. Now, I haven't played the original Legacy of Kain game or the I think it was the top-down game before that, so I'm not a big fan of the series, at least from a personal standpoint, but I do know many people in the industry that do want to get this new game out, either a new game or a remaster, and so I think it'll be very interesting to see whether or not they actually do announce this, and if they do, they test the water, see if people want a new game, so we'll see what happens here. Up next, Now, Skillup brings up a very good point. He's very surprised to learn some people think media and YouTubers are paid to promote Game Pass. I think that's quite ridiculous. Knowing that you can pay $9.99 per month for hundreds of games, that's ridiculous. Why would anybody need to pay them to promote that shit? And you can get 3 months free, right? Or not 3 months free. You could get 3 months for just $1, and you get Xbox Gold too. It's ridiculous that people think that Xbox is paying them to say this stuff. Come on, guys, it's just so simple. Oh, and also to compound on that, you can also get EA Play memberships if you pay for Xbox, or if you pay for. Oh, to compound on that, you can also get EA Play membership if you get the Game Pass. Why do you need to promote this stuff? It's crazy, you guys. Come on. Finally, I want to end on a note that has been plaguing the gaming industry. So, just for reference, Konami and Kojima were going to make a new Silent Hill game with Norman Reedus, and then that didn't happen. Instead, we got Death Stranding, and it's somewhat mixed, right? Some people loved the game, and some other people didn't like the game, but it's still, I think, at least thought-provoking, if anything, and it was at least interesting. But whether or not you liked Death Stranding, that's whatever. But so, Blue Box Game Studios, for some reason, has been intriguing people because people think that they're making a Silent Hill game. And so, basically, they said, we wanted to set things straight. We have no relations with Konami. Silent Hill is owned by Konami. We do not have any relations with Hideo Kojima, and it was never our intention to tease the name as Silent Hill. We sincerely apologize for this. And so, this has been confusing, and I really haven't talked about it because I really just thought it was a little gag thing, and I was just like, oh, whatever, I'm not going to talk about it. It's nothing that big, right? And then suddenly people are like, oh, there's a new Silent Hill. And Blue Box Game Studios was created also by Kojima, and they're making a new game in the Silent Hill series, and I'm just like, you think Konami's going to do that with all the stuff they've been doing? I mean, they made a Pachinko game, but you think they're going to make an actual new game? Come on, guys, you're all crazy. Y'all literally crazy. But so I don't I don't get this. So why do you think first off Konami's gonna give the rights to Silent Hill to some literal indie company? Or at least, yeah, indie company, and it's just like, first off, you're crazy, but then second off, Kojima somehow in on this? He'd make his own thing, honestly. If he was gonna make a Silent Hill-esque game, he'd just make his own thing. But obviously he had Death Stranding, and the director's cut's getting released, so he'll have to deal with that first, but yeah. I think it's ridiculous that this is a thing, but hey, if people want to believe a new Silent Hill is coming out, I'm not going to deny them that, because truly that game's series has been dead longer than Dead Space, and that one's getting a revival, so obviously, if you want to believe that eventually this is going to come out, the new Silent Hill game, you can, but let me just temper your expectations. No, it's not. At least not now. Maybe in 10 years, maybe 20 years, but not now. Definitely not now. I'm sorry. So, I wanted to end on that note. Now, I don't think this week and next week's going to be particularly interesting. Once the EA Play comes out and more games start to begin to release, that's when the news will start to ramp up. But at this point, it's going to be a lot more rumors now, especially with like the Soul Reaver game that's getting a remaster, and just a plethora of other games that are getting rumors of remastering or new games coming out. Honestly, at this point, there's not much to talk about, but if there is some bombshell that gets dropped, I'll let you guys know. I'll let you gamers understand that nothing will slip through my fingers, ever. Also, I wonder when Elden Ring is going to get released. Oh, right, it's going to be January. Is that going to be the actual final release date? Who knows? But I'll let y'all know if anything happens big during this week, next week, and the following weeks. But for now, probably nothing big. But stay safe, like, comment, favorite, and subscribe. And I'll see y'all later next week. I think.